Edelweiss, Edelweiss. We just try to get you in the mood for today's cooking show. This is Castle Neuschwanstein from King Ludwig II of Bavaria. This is the area where I come from. It's close to the Austrian border, about 10 minutes from the Austrian border. And Austria is the land where our recipe comes from. We make Apfelstrudel for you today. And this is my Oma's recipe. And I just veganized it. So let's see how that goes. We have a little different view today. It's like kind of an bird view, but I want to make sure you see everything that happens here. The music plays here today, that you can see every step along the way for the Apfelstrudel. So Addie's already busy. She is mashing the avocado, 3 tablespoons avocado. That's our oil substitute. The original recipe asked for 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm aerating the flour. That's 2 cups of unbleached bread flour. Bread flour is important because it has more gluten, and the strudel dough has to be very elastic because we have to work with it with our hands. That reminds me, no jewelry today on the hands. I have to take off my wedding ring. Because we have to work with the hands. Okay, let's pulse it a little, the flour, aerate it a little. Then we put in the avocado, Addie smashed. So this is our oil substitute, and don't worry about it. It's not tasting in the Apfelstrudel, but it gives the dough the necessary oil grease to become elastic. It's whole plant-based cooking, and we don't use oil because this avocado is 50 calories. It's 3 tablespoons avocado, about 1 avocado, and if you use the same amount in oil, you have like 3 times as many calories, and we try to avoid that. This is how I reverse diabetes too. Okay, we have a half a teaspoon salt, and we have a little water, and we do that while, let's put a little bit in. We put the other water in while we are kneading the dough. Put that in here. Yeah. So you see, the dough has to become a ball. So we need more water. Can't tell you right away, of course. The dough will become a little ball when it's the right consistency. You see, it's not a sweet dough or anything. That's all that's in there. There's no egg in there, no sugar. It's only salt, flour, and our avocados. See, now it starts clumping up. You see that? Yeah. It starts clumping up. Yeah. And now all we need to do, we get a little oil here on our working surface. We take our dough out. It's a little sticky. It should not be sticky. When it's done, it's not sticky. But that's something to keep in mind. So we put it out here. And then we knead it a little bit. Now I can tell you a little anecdote about this Apfelstrudel making. That's my grandma told me. So when the spouse doesn't come home in the evening and goes to the bars and spends all the money on beer and floozies, the women made Apfelstrudel at home. First of all, because they had to take off their wedding ring. So they were angry because the husband doesn't come home, so they have to take off their wedding ring. And then the dough has to be thrown on the surface to take all the bubbles out. and fix the gluten. So when you're hanging, he didn't come home. This spend all our money on beer in the bar. That's how the Apfelstrudel got made. And next day they make up. When he came home, they make up, and the next day everybody's happy, and the Apfelstrudel is there. So now you know. See, we have a nice elastic dough. See that? That's what we need. I need a. This is the first part of the movie. We are done. It goes in plastic, not in the refrigerator. We put it out here, and it has to rest for 1 hour. And see you then. Bye. Welcome back to the Tater Cowgirls Cooking Rodeo. We are at part 2 of the Apfelstrudel. And what I did, we let it rest, we let the dough rest, and I rolled it out to a little square. And now the important part, Addie puts the towel on it. It's a little kitchen cloth from my grandma, and we put flour on it. You want to put that? You want to do that? All over the cloth. And what I do in the meantime, you see, this is why I couldn't wear a ring. I'm widening the dough with the back of my hands, because it has to get really thin. My Oma said you have to be able to read the newspaper when you make it. So this is really important that you have a thin dough. Are you done?
Second.
We spread it here, and then we just drag it a little bit out. Put the corners, drag it a little bit out. We want to have a kind of a rectangle. Take the corners and make them really thin. Yeah. Oh, there's a hole in the pocket, so you don't want to have a hole. So we have to patch that up. Just patch a little dough on it. If you have a hole, don't worry about it. Don't panic. That happens. And you just patch it up. Even later, when you can patch it up when you roll it, because you have leftover dough. See what we do? Make it. So put the flour away, then we get a nice thin rectangle here. I like to use that tablecloth. I only use it for Apfelstrudel, for nothing else, because you can read you can see the flowers underneath when it's thin enough. We have to patch it here. I have a really big part of dough here. Let's just patch that one up. I got the hole in it. Okay. See? You just patch it. The dough is very, very elastic, and this is why it was important to put the avocado in. You gotta have some kind of oil for it. So make it a rectangle, okay? Put it a little up here. Because here we haven't patched it yet. Okay, that's enough. Like here.
For making cookies.
Okay.
Vegan cookie.
Okay, everything is patched up. So we have a rectangle now. It's thin. I see the flowers underneath. What happens now is we put some. My grandma would put like 4 tablespoons or 6 tablespoons of melted butter on it. I take silken soft tofu. I do not take avocado in this case to substitute oil, because I think the avocado would show in the strudel, the green avocado, or I might even taste. For the dough it was perfectly fine, but here for the filling, I just just spread it out a little.
Does it feel good?
we just spread the silken tofu on it to give it the softness and the moistness it needs when it bakes. Don't drop too much, just put it on really gentle. So my husband told me to tell you that I don't need to hit the dough like I showed you before. It's my Oma's anger management. When the husband doesn't come home. My husband never goes to a bar and never drinks. That's true. I have to say that. I don't need to make Apfelstrudel as anger management. But I thought it was a fun anecdote. And that's how they did it, you know. When they made Apfelstrudel, when their husbands didn't come home, and it takes so much work and so much energy, they couldn't be that angry anymore. So this way they had a better, they were more prone to solve the conflict than just killing each other with words. That's why I thought it's funny. It makes some sense too. Okay, we have it all in there. And silken tofu has no taste, so it's just a matter to make it a little moist. So the next thing we have is the filling. This is a cup of raisins which I soaked in rum. You can take grappa, or if you don't want alcohol, just take water and maybe some rum aroma, or just water. It's up to you, it's really up to you. I like the rum, the Caribbean rum in it. I drained the raisins. We have 3 pounds of Granny Smith apples, cored, peeled, and cut into, first cut into quarters and then into little pieces. And now, let's drain that water a little bit more. Okay. I put in a cup of sugar. So the sugar has to go in before you make the strudel filling, because you want to have a syrup in there, so everything is kind of syrupy. I also grated and peeled a lemon. Let's see where my lemon peel is. We already used it. Here's my lemon peel. Can you put the whole peel in? So we peeled 1 Meyer lemon out from my garden and put the lemon juice in, so the apples soak in it. The tardiness is really good in the Apfelstrudel. You don't want to have too sweet apples. I use Granny Smith. Gala might work, but too sweeter than Gala, oh no. And it has to be a juicy, tardy apple. So I think Granny Smith works best. You can take it away. So we mix that a little bit. Tastes good. And we put in a teaspoon of cinnamon. Tablespoon. This was a teaspoon of cinnamon. Teaspoon of cinnamon.
Roll this out, kind of like
okay. I'll show you the other ingredients. We put that here in the meantime. So I also have toasted breadcrumbs, which go in first, together with some sugar. I have the sugar here, so that goes in.
They can't see it.
Okay, I have toasted breadcrumbs, which I toasted on the oven, and I put some sugar in. It's like a half a cup sugar. And we need some more cinnamon for that.
Do more cinnamon.
So I take another teaspoon cinnamon.
There's so much cinnamon.
Yeah, I like so if you don't like cinnamon, just take less. But we all like cinnamon a lot. Cinnamon is good for diabetic issues, so I always eat cinnamon. And I reversed my diabetes by not eating oil. Whole plant-based lifestyle, vegan, non-dairy, non-oil, no animal products. So here we have the breadcrumbs, toasted, and they have to be cool, the breadcrumbs, so don't put the sugar in when they are still hot. So what we do is we put the breadcrumbs here where we put the apples.
I think that's a hole.
So it's okay. So that it won't, that the apples won't soak too much in the dough. So we put them here. Put the rest here.
Smells cinnamony.
Yep, should be smelling cinnamony.
Oh, no.
The breadcrumbs will keep the dough layers apart too. You really want to keep them around the sugar.
Right here.
Yeah, just spread it out nicely. Okay, and now we get the apples in. And I put them here. The raisins. So we only put them here. You see that? Yeah. We only put them here on this side. We do not fill the whole strudel with apples. You don't want to do that. I see that all the time that people do this wrong. So what we do is we fill here along the dough.
Oh, I got tofu on me.
Okay.
I go wash my hands.
Leave the water in there, the remaining juice of the broth. Okay. See? That's how we do it. And now the next ingredient is I caramelized walnuts. I caramelized walnuts in sugar, a tiny little bit of the rum liquid I put in there from the raisins. And this will go now, and it's not going in the apples. The nuts are going here. They will constitute layers for the dough. So you don't want to have the crispy, crunchy walnuts soaked in your apples. You want to have them crunchy. I put a little bit over them, but not too much. And this is it. And now comes the part. Okay, so you see what I do? I take the towel and roll it over the apples. See what I do? So we tuck it nicely under it. Then we roll it. And we roll it.
Roll this.
And we have a little hole here.
That's what I told you about.
It's not so bad.
It's a big hole.
Yeah, there's another dough layer. Then what do? We just take that one now. So don't freak out if you have a hole. That dough is so elastic. You just, you know, strap the dough over it, and the hole is gone. All right. And now we have to put the ends. We tuck them in.
That's what I was just doing.
You just have to. What you do is you tuck them in. You know. You can even put the dough layer over it. Nicey. And now we need, okay, roll it here. And we need our baking sheet with the silicone. You see the silicone here? So I don't need to grease the silicone sheet. That's why I love to bake with it. And what we do is we roll it over.
I think the dough just popped out.
It's okay. I just glue it together. We make it like a horseshoe. Like here. Leave it here. Just want it all on the thing. Here we have to knit it up too. Okay, you see it? It's like a horseshoe, because they are usually longer than the sheet. So you either can cut it and make two, but I always make a horseshoe, kind of. Then you can just, now you put, poke holes in it.
Oh, I want to poke holes.
You want to poke more holes? Not too much, so like 2 more. And then you put a little plant milk on it.
That good?
Let's see.
Very good.
I don't have a little brush. I just take the finger, probably. Put a little.
Oh, I want to do this. Whatever you're doing, I want to.
I don't know how to brush it right now. Okay, we just take a little plant milk, soy milk in my case here. Take a little soy milk.
Huh?
We dip it a little. The soy milk. My Oma would take butter in that case, so that would be another butter thing. You know, to see how much butter went into the apple strudel. I don't think that was very healthy. Well, my grandmother survived 2 world wars starving, and she always said, now that we have everything, I'm gonna eat it. And she paid with having heart attacks and strokes, so it's not healthy to eat so much fat. But the recipes are so good that I decided to veganize them in whole plant-based food tradition, and keep them alive and have them on my video. Okay, this is that. And now the last step before we put it in the oven. We take a little sugar and cinnamon. Let's see. Cinnamon, again cinnamon. So you see we are big fans of cinnamon. So you can take less. If you don't like cinnamon, just take less. But imagine you make that on Thanksgiving, and your in-laws will look at you with a whole different view if you have a homemade apple strudel as dessert for Thanksgiving. Okay.
Can I help?
You want to put that, just drizzle it a little in the middle with sugar.
So we have a spoonful of sugar?
A spoonful of sugar? Yeah, exactly. Addie was...
Very popping.
Okay, I don't know what that was. Addie was Miss Mary Poppins at Halloween, so she knows the spoonful of sugar song. So she's doing that right now. Are you done? Just a little bit more. Yeah.
No. Sorry. I'm not. This is my first time.
Okay. Okay, now we put it in the oven. 375 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour. At 45 minutes I will look. I might have to take down the temperature 350, or I take it out. So in 45 minutes we will talk again, and then we will see and try the apple strudel. Here it is. Hello, we are back. Our apple strudel is done. I show you the whole thing first. So we let it cool like a few minutes. You see it? It became really brown, nice golden glaze. We put a little bit of powdered sugar on top. And you see that one here, that piece here, that will go in the freezer for Thanksgiving. I have my dessert already done. And now I show you how it looks inside. This is what you want to get from the apple strudel. And you have a little piece of soy ice cream with vanilla ice cream with it. And I'm trying it now just for you. I don't have to put it on the...
It's not easy.
Very good. Very good. You want to try it, Daddy? With a little ice cream? It's hot. Careful. It's hot. Good? Okay, this is it. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I might do a special on Thanksgiving with all the stuff I'm making, vegan, all plant-based, like green bean casserole, cornbread, stuffing, and all kinds of stuff. So I might have a little, they call it mukbang, where I have it on the table and I show you what I'm making, and then I put the recipes then in the info section. The Apfelstrudel recipe is in the info section right under the video, so it's free. You can try to make it. As I said, you get 2 thumbs up from your family for that dessert on Thanksgiving. My family doesn't like pumpkin pie, so this is fall. You like pumpkin pie? So okay, we make one for you.
Yes.
Papa doesn't like it, and Mike and your mommy doesn't like it. Anyway, this is a good substitute if you don't want to make pumpkin pie. Now I found out I have to make one because it's fall, it's apple, it's cinnamon, it gives, my kitchen smells right now, it's just wonderful.
Delicious.
And it's the fall smell for Thanksgiving. You smell in my kitchen right now. Anyway, have a good Sunday and happy Thanksgiving, folks. Bye. Peace out.